Good morning grade 6. Welcome back to grade 6 mathematics class. Hope you all are doing great today. Let's start a new chapter today. Chapter 10, Ratio and Proportion. So this chapter is all about comparing quantities. How do we usually compare quantities? See, we can subtract two quantities to say how much more one quantity is than the other. We can divide quantities to say how many times one quantity is the other quantity. We can express quantities as a fraction. See, we have learned different ways to compare quantities. So here in this chapter, we are going to learn a way to compare quantities by division, and this is called a ratio. And proportion is about equal ratios. Let's learn more about ratios and proportion later in this chapter. So to warm up our knowledge about comparison of quantities, let's have a look at the questions given in the flashback exercise. So I want all of you to turn to page number 141 in your textbook. Do you see the flashback exercise? Let's look at the first question given there. So the first question says, in an examination, Anu scored 50 marks. Madhu scored 2 marks less than her. Manoj scored 3 marks less than Madhu. And Simran scored 3 marks more than Madhu. Who got the highest score? So when you look at the question, you can see everyone's score has a relation to Anu's score. We are given Anu's score as 50 marks. So to find out everyone's score, let's assume that Anu's score is X. Now everyone else's score can be expressed in terms of Anu's score X. Let's see how. So if you assume that Anu's score is X, Madhu's score will be X minus 2. Because it is given in the question that Madhu scored 2 marks less than that of Anu. So we can write Madhu's score is equal to X minus 2. Now Manoj's score is given as 3 marks less than that of Madhu, which means it is X minus 2 minus 3. X minus 2 is Madhu's score here. So Manoj's score is equal to X minus 2 minus 3. Now let's simplify this part. See, we have minus 2 minus 3, which is the same as minus 2 plus minus 3, and that is equal to minus 5. So we can write X minus 2 minus 3 as X minus 5. Now Simran scored 3 marks more than Madhu. So that is equal to X minus 2 plus 3, where X minus 2 is Madhu's score. So here we have minus 2 plus 3, which is equal to plus 1. So we can write Simran's score is equal to X plus 1. Now that we are given Anu's score X is equal to 50, we can apply the value of X as 50 in each of the expressions here and find out the individual scores. So we can write Madhu's score, that is X minus 2, is equal to 50 minus 2, that is equal to 48 marks. Now Manoj's score is equal to X minus 5, that is 50 minus 5, it is equal to 45 marks. Now Simran's score is equal to X plus 1, that is 50 plus 1, which is equal to 51 marks. Now compare the individual scores. Anu got 50 marks. Now Madhu got 48 marks. Manoj got 45 marks, whereas Simran got 51 marks. Now which among these is the highest? We can see Simran's score is the highest, and hence Simran scored the highest in the examination. So I hope this question is clear to you. Now let's have a look at the second question. It says find out the one which is the lightest. Now this question is based on the principle of balances. Have a look at the first figure here. See, here on the left side we have a circle and on the right side we have a rectangle. Can you say which is the lightest here? See, we can see the left hand side seems to be light blue. So that means this circle has more weight, or the circle has more value than the rectangle. So when you compare the circle and the rectangle, you can see that the rectangle is the lighter one here. Now coming to the second figure, you can see it is balanced on both sides. On the left side we have a circle, on the right side we have a square. It is balanced, which means the circle and the square has the same weight or the same value. So when you compare the circle, the rectangle and the square, which one is the lightest here? Again, you can see that the rectangle will be the lightest. Why? Because the circle and the square has the same value, and when you compare the circle and the rectangle, rectangle is the lightest. Hence, if you compare the square and the rectangle, then also the rectangle will be the lightest one. Now coming to the third figure, you can see that on the left side we have a triangle, on the right side we have a rectangle. You can see that the right hand side seems to be lying low, which means that the rectangle has more weight or more value than the triangle. So when you compare the rectangle and the triangle, which one is the lighter one? It is the triangle. So when you compare the circle, the rectangle, the square and the triangle, which one is the lightest? It is the triangle which is the lightest one here. So I hope this is clear to you. Now let's have a look at the third question, and it says which statement is correct given that one triangle is equal to 2 circles, 3 circles is equal to 1 rectangle and 2 rectangles is equal to 1 star. Now have a look at the options as well. You can see all the options are given in terms of a star and triangles. So let's start from here. You can see 1 star is equal to 2 rectangles. So if 1 star is equal to 2 rectangles, how many circles would that be? 1 rectangle is equal to 3 circles. So 2 rectangles will be equal to 3 into 2, 6 circles. So 1 star is equal to 2 rectangles, which is the same as 6 circles. And we are given 2 circles equal to 1 triangle. Hence, 6 circles will be equal to 3 triangles, because every 2 circle can be represented with 1 triangle. So which among the given statements is true? 1 star is equal to 3 triangles. You can draw these shapes and verify your answer. Now let's have a look at the next question. It says, compare the distances around the boundaries of the following figures to find out which one is longer. So what is the distance around the boundary called? It is called the perimeter, and in the case of a circle, it's called the circumference. Here you are given the circumference of a circle here as 31.4 meter. Now the next figure is that of a square, and it has got the sides 8 meter. Now in the case of a square, what is the perimeter? It will be 4 times the side, that is 4 into 8. Now what is 4 into 8? 4 into 8 meter is equal to 32 meter. So what is the distance around the boundary in the case of this square? Or what is the perimeter of this square? It is equal to 32 meter. Now compare the two measurements. Here we have 31.4 meter and here we have 32 meter. Which is more? 32 meter is more. So which one has got more length on the boundary? It is the square. So I hope this question is clear to you. There is one more question given in the flashback exercise, and it has to be done as a homework. So it's about finding out which figure occupies more space. So you have to find out the area of both figures and compare the areas. Now you have to go through all these questions once again and note down your answers in your notebook. And once you are done with the answers, please do take a picture and send us to Teams. So that's all for today, children. We'll learn more about ratios in the next class. Till then, bye.